Right then, we are live. Hello everybody. I was just checking my phone, so I'll put that away. So yeah, Thursday. I read in the chat actually, someone put Muck Digger Marcus put good old Thursday again. Soon comes around. Yeah, it really does. That's what I always feel. I think like, God, is it Thursday again? And I always forget, like on Wednesday or Tuesday, I always think, oh God, when have I got to do Thursday talks? And sometimes I forget that it's Wednesday, and I think, oh my God, it's Thursday talks today, but it actually isn't. But yeah, so yeah, it's Thursday again. It's crazy. We've got Corey in there. We've got Jason in there. We've got Muck Digger Marcus. We've got Peter, who has to go out, so he can't make the chat today. We've got Tom, Shelster Rooney, we've got Darren, we've got Andy. Wow, we've got loads of people jumping in. So yeah, anyway, have I got... I know Darren's an admin there. I'm wondering whether I need to make another couple of people admins just in case for in the future. You know what, I'm going to make Tom an admin. Am I on Tom there? Oh wait, how do I... Oh, I don't even know how I make him an admin now. One sec. Oh, I can't make him an admin. Anyway, I'll make someone else an admin. I might be able to do it off stream, I don't know. But I think I better make someone else an admin. Just in case, you know, in case a few of the other admins aren't in, or moderators, or whatever you call them. Because some weeks I don't have many moderators in, so yeah. Anyway, Thin Fashion Plus is in there. Hey ads, Phoebe here, caught you live for a change, hope you are well. I'm doing well. I've got a couple of things to share with you. I'm not going to go, it is personal stuff, I'm not going to go deep into them because, for one, I don't think it's great to do that on YouTube, even though in the past I've done that majorly, but also because this is meant to be a reselling chat, and I always ramble about myself, so I think it's best we do have some reselling chat as well. And last week, I think it was last week, I rambled for about 20 minutes on cryptocurrency, so anyway. Yeah, I think probably in the future, not necessarily in the, you know, in the, oh, what's the word? In the near future, but in the distant future, I think this channel is going to be like a really weird channel in the sense of, I'm going to be doing a lot of different things, so I suppose like right now it's more geared towards reselling. However, in the future, maybe 2-3 years down the line, it could be a very different channel. I'm not saying that it won't be, you know, reselling focused, or there won't be any reselling content, but I do feel that I want to do other different things, and obviously I would just create a new channel. But because obviously now you have to get up to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minutes or hours watched, I think it is, to get monetized, it's like, well, if I create another channel and put all that effort into the other channel, I won't be able to monetize it in any way. Not that I get a lot of money, but at least it would be something kind of thing. So the only thing I wouldn't do on this channel is Doctor Who related videos, because I think that I would actually set up a new channel even if it wasn't monetized, just to do videos on that, and I have thought about that quite a lot in the past. But certainly, you know, the channel might gear towards more investing, or, you know, a bit of reselling on the side, a little bit of travel or vlogs and stuff like that. And I think that it'll be more of a, you know, a round channel, you know, loads of different things, sort of like, you know, a clock face or whatever. You've got loads of different numbers on the clock. There'll be loads of different kind of strings to the bow or whatever. I'm not doing very good at analogies today, am I? Normally, I'm really good at analogies, but that one just, I knew when I started it, that one was not good. Anyway, but no, what I want to do is just maybe focus it in different areas, not just do reselling. So I suppose that's going to wheedle out the people who just follow me for reselling, and then what I'll get is the people who actually want to follow the content for myself, as well as my own personality and my own journey, rather than just reselling. And I would quite like that, because then I know I've focused my audience down to the people who actually really care about what I do in my life and things like that, rather than just follow me for reselling. You know, let's say on, you know, a reselling charity shop hunting video or whatever, I can get a load of views, and I can get a load of views on certain other videos, but I always think of them as false views, because they're just people viewing it to see me go charity shop hunting or see me go car booting or whatever. They're not really interested in me as a person. However, with Thursday Talks, I always feel like these are real views because people are actually interested in what I have to say, whether it be about reselling or personally or whatever. So that's what I want the channel to be focused around. You know, the fact that my core audience is supportive of me as a person and what I do, rather than just come to see reselling videos or something like that. So anyway, we're at ramble out the way. It's not going to be any time in the near future. That's going to be distant future, you know, 2 or 3 years. But I will ramble a little bit about my personal stuff, and then we'll get on to reselling chat. But before I do, I'll just quickly have another look in the chat. I think, oh no, we have got more people in. We've got George, we've got Chris, we've got, sorry if I'm a bit close to the mic there. I always go too close to the mic. Can you guys see my messages? Yes, we can, Corey. At least I can anyway. I took the day off today just for your live chat ads. You took the day off just for my live chat. See, that's what I mean. That is like the level of craziness. Like, the people watching Thursday Talks will dedicate, instead of maybe someone just watching one of my other like car boot hunting videos, who just literally come to the channel for that video. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm not saying that everyone needs to take the day off to watch a live stream. Don't do that on my account. But I'm saying that that is a kind of an amplified example of what I'm actually talking about. So that's pretty cool. But I'm not suggesting that everyone do that, go that crazy. But yeah, thank you very much all the same, Jason. So we've got, thank you, Sue, I'm close to 200. Is that subscribers? My channel is going to be like a clock numbers. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. It was a terrible analogy. So yeah, so what I'll talk about very briefly is the fact that over the past couple of weeks, I said in a video, way back when, in maybe December or January, I don't know when it was, I said I had a video outlining, it might have been Thursday Talks actually, yeah it was a Thursday Talks episode, outlining what I wanted to achieve in 2018. One of the goals was obviously investing in myself and learning a lot more and trying to better myself in, you know, all aspects of life, you know, in terms of antiques, bettering my knowledge of antiques. That I'm slowly doing. That's going to be a slow burn goal. And then there's a load of other different things, you know. I think one of the goals was to maybe read a few more books, or maybe go on a couple of courses or something like that, you know, online courses. I haven't done that yet. I don't really like reading books. I don't know why. But I always like, you know, I like doing like online courses and things like that, or reading online. I don't actually, for whatever reason, I don't know whether it's my generation, but I just don't like reading books. But saying that, a lot of my generation do still read books, so maybe it's just me. But yeah, so I don't really like reading books, but I do want to try and explore a few more online courses. But one of the biggest goals, and the goal that's been such a hard step for me, and that I've put off doing for so long, is actually to get counselling. Not for my reselling, but for my anxiety issues. And we're also exploring a few other issues as well. We've found out in the I'm not going to go into real depth about the counselling sessions, because I don't feel like all that information should be out there on YouTube right now. I'm quite happy in 10 years time or whatever to talk about that on a big, you know, in a big way, but now at the moment I'm going through it and I'm such at an early stage in my counselling, I don't think it would be wise to tell everyone all the different things we're going through. But basically there's like a few things that are cropping up. The fact that I might have a more enhanced fear of death than other people, fact of obviously my anxiety maybe coming from that, actually, you know, a physical expression of that, feeling the fear of the fact that I feel like I'm going to die, and then obviously I feel, you know, my anxiety plays up to that. And I think that there's so much that I learn in the 2 sessions I've had about myself, about where I want to go, about what I truly want to do, and this anxiety that's stopping me from doing that. And the one big thing that came up when we were really, and I do really advise, if anyone, even if you've not got any problems, or if you don't think you've got any problems or anything like that, I'm not saying I've got problems, but, well, okay, I do have a few problems, but I accept those problems. But even if you've not got anything wrong with you particularly, you're almost like a perfect human being, I would really advise, if you've got some spare time and you've got a little bit of money, do counselling. It's so good. It makes you like be more aware of yourself on such a profound level. And I got in the first session, about 3/4 of the way through, I got so deep down into myself, like going right back to my childhood, or working through all these different things that I, on a subconscious level, I knew, but on a conscious level, I didn't know, that I actually just burst out crying. I couldn't help cry because, and it wasn't necessarily sad tears, it was actually like a mix of sad and happy tears, like I'm working through this stuff. And yeah, it's been really, really good, and it's made me think, you know, actually it's myself that's stopping myself. Yeah, it's like myself that's stopping myself from getting over this anxiety and moving on with my life. So it was just so good. Anyway, I'll go down the chat. So keep your money close, take penalty of charge. Also, try and keep prices to something nice and rounded. What's that? Is that just chat? Any tips for doing a car boot? There's loads of videos on my channel. I don't know whether you've seen the videos on my channel. You probably have, Corey. But yeah, there's loads of videos on my channel about car boot tips. 28 parcels done, print off labels, watch ads while listing, and then drop. How can you watch me while listing? You mean listen to me while listing, surely? Because what I do is I listen to a podcast. I've been listening to this Doctor Who podcast. Don't know. I don't know why I've not listened to it in the past. I mean, I've really enjoyed the last few days listening to that. The slow sales have continued. I'll talk about that as well. But yeah, it's been nice just listening to that podcast while I'm listing, and I've been able to get so many listings done. And also, the other thing I've not mentioned actually over the past sort of few days is I've been listing on PC. I've not been listing on I've not been listing on my phone for the last like 2.5 years or something. I've been listing on my phone, and it's been like, I don't know, I've always thought it's been faster to list on my phone, but now I've done like the PC and gone down the PC route, it's been so, it just feels faster. It honestly, like listing on PC feels so much, I don't know, so much, it feels more, I don't know how to word it, like it feels more of a process, like you'll go through and it's like a more fluid process. So, you know, you just put your title in, put your description in, rather than on the app where you have to keep clicking out of the different segments, if you know what I mean, if you've listed on the app. So I think really like doing doing it on the app can be quite frustrating, and now I've changed over, I can really see that why people say like, oh, you list on phone, I can't do that kind of thing. I get their point of view now, because I can bang out, honestly, like I banged out about 10 listings the other day in like half an hour or something like that, just under half an hour. It was crazy. And you can also set up templates on the PC. So I've got like postage templates. So like I've just put in like, I've called the template Royal Mail, and then it already fills in my postage and stuff. And I'm sure you can do it even more advanced than that. Like you could probably do a template to fill out your postage, maybe like certain item specifics and all that sort of stuff, you know, all the rest of it. Maybe even buy it now price if you're listing very, very similar items, or maybe even description, again, if you're listing very, very similar items or pretty much the same items. So yeah, I've really enjoyed listening on PC. It's been really, really good. But I'd say like listening to a podcast or something like that is really, really perfect. And I've thought myself about doing a podcast. I don't know what you guys think about that. Obviously, because I've got my mic now, it would be pretty good. But I always think to myself, what would I talk about? Like, I know that I can just talk and talk and talk like I do on Thursday Talks, but hence why it's probably, well, I don't even know whether I named it this, consciously aware that, you know, obviously I talk a lot, so I called it Thursday Talks. I don't know. But basically, I don't know whether you can hear that outside. I think there's don't know. There's something outside, something going on outside. I think it might be like the bin men or something. Although isn't it a bit late for the bin men? But yeah. So what was I saying? So yeah, I can talk a lot, but the thing is, when I'm on a podcast, I don't know. I think I would find it harder to talk because I'm not like on video. I don't know whether. I don't know whether people like can relate to that. That's weird, I suppose. But I feel like maybe I would be less, I don't know, just less myself on a podcast rather than like on a video, because I always feel with myself, because of how big and bold I am, I kind of need the video to express myself in like hand gestures and stuff, and that the hand gestures make my talking flow a little bit better. So I don't know anyway. Yeah, but it hasn't, right, I want to get this perspective as well. Ads, you still haven't cut those weeds down. Oh, great. Another comment about the green screen. It's funny. Anyway, what I was going to talk about was, yeah, slow sales. So, what I wanted from you guys is put in the chat if your sales are below average, or above average, and we'll see how many. Well, that's if you want to. You don't have to do it, obviously. No one's forcing you, but if you would like to share that information, just put like above average, below average, or about average, and we can see sort of how many people are maybe suffering a little bit with slow sales and this kind of thing, that it's continuing. You know, it's continuing. And I'm doing a hand gesture now. What hand gesture is that? Oh god, I don't even want to know. Wait, you mean you're not outside already? No, I'm not. On a serious note though, it's great that you're talking about this. I'm currently going through the same thing for stress and slight depression. I know that, who was it? What's his name? Callum, Jay and Callum. He did a video about mental health and business, and it's a massive thing. There is one plan that I would like to do, for an actual business idea. I am going to talk about it, because, you know, even if someone steals my idea, it's not the best idea in the world anyway, but even if someone steals my idea, that's fine, because I might not ever do it anyway. But what I would like to do at some point, if I get some money, you know, some money behind me, is I'd like to do what would be called the self-employed spa. And we would have like a waiting room where people can obviously talk business and talk shop. So this would be generally for people who are, you know, self-employed, whatever, doesn't really matter what your occupation is, but you can network in this waiting room, and then you go in and we have like loads of different therapies, and you know, there's like a spa in there, and there's like physical therapy, and then there's like emotional therapy and things like that, and it would be a place where really stressed out self-employed people can go once a week, twice a week, pay, obviously it's like a club membership, so you pay a fee to access the kind of all the facilities, and it would be quite a high-end thing. I'm talking probably, I don't know, a few hundred a month to get access to this place. You know, I'm talking probably 200 to 300 a month. I don't know whether that's high-end or not, actually, but I'd say 200 or 300 a month. And then we can really dive in and help out some self-employed people, because I really think that self-employed are big on the whole stress thing. I think that a lot of people are quite stressed with it, so yeah, that's something I would like to do in the future. And obviously with my friend, well, Daniel, my friend, has just graduated actually as being a doctor. Now I know that isn't necessarily therapy or, you know, spa treatment or physical therapy in that way, but obviously I've got that sort of relationship there, so he could advise me on certain things and maybe what things might be good for, you know, certain things. So like, for example, if people have got certain, not illnesses, but there's certain, what am I trying to say, like, there's certain physical things there that are maybe going wrong with them, we can tailor the actual therapy to that, if you like. So it's going to be like more one-to-one as well as like the usual, you know, the spa, and there'd be a swimming pool, and there'd be, you know, all that usual stuff. But I think we'd probably have, like, is it called a hydro pool? Is it a hydro pool where it's like really warm, the water, and there's like salts and stuff in it? We'd probably have one of them, and it'd be really good. I think it'd be so good, and we could all like network with each other as well. I know that necessarily people might not be in the same business, but even just making any contacts in business is good. So you could go in the waiting room, you could like network with people, you could even just talk about footy or whatever, you know, whatever you're into, and you know, just, I think it'd be so good. I think on a networking basis it'd be good, I think on a health basis it'd be good, and I think as well a social basis it'd be good to get people, because self-employed people are mainly independent people who work for themselves independently, a lot of them, maybe, you know, there's probably quite a lot that aren't as well. There's probably quite a lot that have employees, but also there's a lot that don't have employees and quite lonely. So I think all this combined will really, really help out self-employed people. So that's an idea that I've had, but I wouldn't be doing that till like my 40s or something. But the issue with me is actually having time. It's not necessarily like trying to get the money to do all these things, and you might think that's a bit weird, like me not worried about getting the money to do these things. But I'm always been confident in my ability to make money, even if there's like right now what I'm experiencing on eBay is probably the worst downtime I've had since I started almost. It's so bad. My sales are just tanking like crazy. I'm listing more items, but they just keep going down. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? And in the midst of all that is this realization of stepping back a little bit, looking at the longer term picture and thinking to myself, well, no, I still have a lot of confidence in my abilities to make money on eBay or otherwise in other areas, you know, investing or whatever it may be. So I think to myself, you know, it's not necessarily just the money. That might come further down the line. There might be more of an issue further down the line about money, I don't know. But I feel like I'm confident enough to get to a good level of money to be able to do these things, at least give them a shot. But it's time. It's time for me. Like, there's so many things I want to do, and I just don't feel like I've got that amount of time to do them. So, again, that's where this sort of, the big word I've been talking about so much, you know, in the last 6 months or so, is this ability to outsource to other people and try and outsource to other people. But then again, that takes money. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have more money behind you as a startup cost. So yeah, it's either time or money in business, really. You either invest a lot of money to make a return, or you invest a lot of time to make a return, or you invest a lot of both to make a better return, let's say. But sometimes it doesn't work out like that and you don't make any return. But I've never really worried about that. It's really weird. Like, I don't worry about failure because I've failed so much. It just doesn't come into it. And I don't think people should worry about that. I really don't. I think people should just get their heads down and focus on the work and not the failure. Because I'll tell you something right now, if you focus on the work and you keep focusing on the work, then you're not going to fail anyway, because you're just going to keep persisting until you get it right. And I've talked about that so many times, but it's something so powerful. And it's taken me a long time to realise, and it's only literally just been in the last couple of weeks that I've actually realised, not necessarily through counselling, but just before that, that actually I'm allowed to take time off. Being persistent, I first thought about a year ago or 2 years ago that being persistent meant never taking a day off and hammering it down and keep going and keep going and keep going. But that is not true. Being persistent over the long term needs you to take time off. And I know that everyone else watching this knows this. Most probably all of you know this. But for myself, this is like me talking to myself right now, in this sort of moment, is I didn't believe that. I thought that you just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. But I had that 6 days off recently from eBay listing in particular, and it made me think, you know what? I need this time off. I need a break to be able to have more motivation in the future, which will actually enhance my business more than if I didn't take the time off. So I think I'm slowly learning that, and it's not... And for me as well, about a year ago, it was a failure. I considered it as a failure if I took time off. Or if I took a day off, I failed. But that's not true. You've actually succeeded because you've actually taken the step to do something that's harder in taking the day off. And also, by taking that day off, you might be able to list loads more items the next week because you've got more motivation for it, because you've had a little bit of a break. So you've got to realise, you've got to, you know, people always say, like, you know, work smart and all this sort of stuff. And it's exactly true, you know, it's exactly true. And you've got to make sure that you're taking that necessary time off and you're doing the things now that will get you into a place that will help you succeed, or what you believe is success in the end. Now, also, there's a concept of feeling like, when is enough enough? So for me, I've always expressed a number on this channel of how much I'd like to earn with my reselling each year, or just earn basically a year, and that number would be 50,000 net profit. So that's net profit that I can take out of a business. I've always said that. Now I'm not nowhere near that in terms of net profit, but that's kind of been my number, and I think it shouldn't be. I don't think I should, and I don't think other people should be like saying, right, I've got to get to this number, you're got to get to this, I've got to do this in this month or anything. Because once you say that to yourself, you're then starting to commit to that like level, that level that you've set. You've then committed to that, and if you don't get there, you're going to be in a really negative state of mind if you don't, if you don't achieve that. So then that might make you go down further. So maybe thinking just that I've got enough right now, that this is enough, what I'm doing right now is where I'm happy and comfortable, then that means that alleviates that pressure off my shoulders and off your shoulders if you choose to do this. And then, obviously, then you can strive for more. I'm not saying don't set targets. I'm just saying if you set targets, don't be as strict with them as like, you've got to do this, and if you do not do this, you're going to fail and your business is going to crumble. Don't be too much like that with them. Just set a target that's achievable, that's measurable, but that's also, a bit of a challenge and, within a certain time frame, but don't go over the top, and don't think to yourself like, I have to do this and my life depends on it, because if you don't do it, probability is if you're thinking like that, you will end up achieving it anyway. But if you don't achieve it, then that is going to send you right back down in a big spiral, like a negativity spiral that it's going to make it harder to get motivation in the future. So certainly that's something that I'm trying to identify and realize that, it's not failure if I take some time off. It's not failure if I don't achieve my goals. However, I am still going to try my very best to achieve the goals, and I know that I'm going to get very close to them or even maybe complete them. But if I don't complete them, then I've got to say to myself, don't worry, there's always another time when I set another goal, and it's cool, I've still got to a great position where I am in trying to achieve that goal. But yeah, this like sort of mental battle, self-employed resellers face is so hard, and it's an everyday battle of positivity and negativity, and downward spirals and upward spirals, and in quarter 4 you feel like you're a god because you've done X amount of turnover and profit, and you think, yeah, there's nothing that can take me down. And then January, February comes, March comes, whatever, it slows down a little bit, and then you're knocked off your pedestal and you go back down again. And it's all about trying to refrain from doing that and not putting your emotion into your business as much as you think, actually trying to turn a little bit of a blind eye with your emotion, with regards to your emotion in business. Because if you put all your emotion in business, you're just going to ride that roller coaster up and down, and it's so stressful, honestly, it really is. And I don't even know stress, because I've not got like major bills to pay, I've not got kids to feed. So, if I were to continue on putting my emotions in and riding the roller coaster, and when things are bad I'm hitting an all-time low with these major bills and with kids, that would be, oh my god, it would be terrible. It would absolutely terrible. It would send me right down, and I'd lose all of that luster and that motivation that I had right from the offset. So I think you've got to kind of stay on one level, stay on one level. But this is all just from my experience. I'm not like, I know it sounds like I'm preaching, and I apologise if it does. That's just kind of how my personality is. I kind of adopt this sort of I can't even do it with that hand, but public speaker mentality. I don't mean to sound like that. It's just kind of how I am, how I choose to preach or choose to talk. But I do like to share my own experience and give you a bit of wisdom to hopefully take on board and then choose to accept it or not. But anyway, we'll go through the chat again, because I'm really bad today. I'm just rambling so much. The only day you fail is the day you give up trying. Exactly, that is very true. And again, if I add to that, when you take a day off, that does not mean you've given up trying. That just means you've taken a day off. Because again, I'm just talking to myself in that respect. Because that's what I always think. I think to myself, oh, you know what, I've taken a day off, so I've given up. But it's not that. It's just you've taken a day off, take a breather, and then you can get back into it and do even more than you did before. So, yeah, did Jordan Henderson teach you that, Darren? Jordan Henderson? Where's... Oh, is that the football thing? Sorry, I don't know about all this football. NHS 70th birthday today, and as I work for the NHS, we have been given free cupcakes today. Nice, free cupcakes. What were they? Chocolate or... what's the ones I like? I like the Is it the fairy cakes? I like them with a really soft sponge. They're really nice. Will the spa accept free 30-day returns? I don't know. I don't know what the whole... I mean, I suppose we'd have to accept refunds, not necessarily returns, because it'd be a service, wouldn't it? So you'd get a refund for the service. But yeah, I suppose we'd have to accept... I don't know the ins and outs of it. I mean, it's such a big task to undertake. All the legalities of doing a brick and mortar and all that sort of thing. I don't even know, like, any of how to do that stuff. One day, no doubt, I might do. So, if I choose to go down that route, then I'm going to put my all into it, and I'm going to probably have a lot of sleepless nights, and probably going to have a lot of long research sessions before I actually get things right, and then eventually I'll know all about that stuff again. And this is the thing, it's the journey to success where you get the most knowledge. Like, all the different times, like I was researching, you know, things on eBay, products and stuff like that, and all these different things about eBay and PayPal, and trying to sort out problems with eBay and PayPal, all those horrible instances, dealing with returns, or maybe even like a GSP issue, which can be a real nightmare. All these different things that you do along the journey are the things that actually make you knowledgeable and get you that success at the end of it. But if you give up during that journey because things are getting too hard, you will never realise that success. So it's all about like keeping going, and it's so goddamn hard. I mean, I can't even express in words how hard it is, like, just to keep going. There's been times where I have fell off the handle and thought, you know what, do I really want to continue with doing this? And then a few minutes later I'll snap myself out of it and think no, because it's like, well, yes, but I mean, like, what I was trying to say is no, I do want to keep doing this. That's what I was trying to say anyway. But I do want to keep doing this because I actually I built this business. I know what I want to do. I love doing reselling, and I'm not going to let anything like this stop me. I'm going to keep going. But there is those moments where you think, oh, you know, you have to step back a little bit and think, hang on a minute, this is getting quite a little bit too much for me. Step back, realise where you are, and then attack it again in a different way. Because if you get to that point of, like, you know, breaking point where you're like, oh God, I don't like this, it's too much for me, then that point is very dangerous, because at that level you could quit. I mean, if you're not made of strong stuff, at that level where you're faced with various different problems all at the same time, that is the level that you will either quit or keep going. And you know, many people will just quit at that sort of standard, at that level. But if you can keep going, then it shows that you really love the thing you do. And also, I wanted to say, because I've been talking a lot about quitting and things like that, what I mean by quitting is it's not for you. That line of work isn't for you. It does not mean that you're not a strong person, right? It just means that that particular thing that you've done, you don't have enough passion for to see it through. However, with something else that I might not have any passion for, but for you, it's like a really big passionate thing, you might go on to do amazing things in that sort of niche. So it doesn't mean if you quit something that you're directly a quitter for your life or anything like that. It just means that that thing might not have been for you, and that you need to go off, find a new thing, and then see if that's more, you've got more passion for that, and then go up that route and see how far you get with that. And if you can persist like I can in reselling for maybe something else, like maybe a bricks and mortar clothing shop or something like that, then, well, that's similar to reselling actually, but you know, like, if you can persist in that the way I can with reselling and the way other people can with reselling, then that's your kind of thing that that is the best for you, that you're the most motivated for, and that's the thing that your success is going to come out. And all these different people have success in different things, and everyone has the ability to make something a success for them. I really do believe it. It's just the hardest thing is finding that one thing you can persist at relentlessly to get to your own sort of version of success. It's very, very hard, and I don't know whether reselling is it for me. I really don't. I mean, I can persist at reselling, I have a lot of persistence, but whether it's going to be the one thing that I can truly envisage complete success in, I don't know. Maybe there isn't going to be that thing. Maybe it's just going to be numerous different things, including my hobbies, that give me an overall feeling of success in my life. You know, I don't know. But although maybe it's like a big massive walking gallery in my house with a nice little mural even, of me like riding a unicorn naked with like all colours painted over me. I don't know. Maybe that's my envisagement of success. I don't have a clue. But that would be always nice as well. Just open a pub ad. Could you imagine me as a landlord? God. So, what's your problems tonight, Terry? You know, and then he'd just be there venting all his problems to me, and then I'd be here trying to give me advice, and I'd have one of them little mops when I'm brushing up the counter. Oh God, it'd be funny. I could do that. That could be a little sitcom, you know. That could be like a sketch show or something. That could be part of a sketch show. It kind of sounds like that. Anyway, it's kind of in that vein. And girls, hi guys and girls, hi there Nick. Have you put your recycling out ads? Yeah, sorry about that. This funny thing is, this microphone that I got is not the microphone. Basically, I had a few different choices of microphone, and there was one that like kind of blanks out background noise. This one isn't the one that that one wasn't the one that I chose. This one doesn't blank out background noise, and even though that's outside, I have got my window open, but even though that's quite far outside, you still pick it up loads on this mic, so it just shows it must be a pretty good mic. It extends quite far, but yeah, it's a bit annoying, and also I've not got my pop filter on it as well now, so that gets it a bit annoying, because obviously if you've got your pop filter, it filters out a little bit of that noise. Actually, that reminds me, I need to get another pop filter. Anyway, how's the stream looking? Because basically before YouTube was saying it was bad quality or something. Now, since I've got my Ethernet cable, it's been cool. You know, last few weeks it's been really, really good. So hopefully it's all right. I mean, I've had no complaints anyway, so that's cool. Brad. Gamester, is it? Galmster? Hi ads, hello everyone, hi there. Right, I'll just quickly go up the chat again. Would we have our own robes and with our initials on? If so, I'm in. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, well, I don't know. The thing that really annoyed me when I was younger, right? I don't know whether you had this, but about 10-15 years ago, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, let's say, whenever I would go in a pub with my parents, not to drink, obviously, I was too young, but when I would go in a pub, I always thought, yes, there'll be peanuts on the table, it'll be brilliant. So we'll go into this pub, and we go and sit down, and then there's peanuts on the table, and it's like, yeah, I'll get loads of these. And what I used to do with the peanuts is I didn't like peanuts. I wasn't allergic, but I didn't like peanuts. So what I would do is lick the salt off them, and then get my mum to get like, one of the, what do you call it? Not a napkin, like a tissue, like a tissue. Anyway, get a tissue, and we'd just put them all in there when I licked the salt off. Anyway, I was a very weird child, but that's obvious considering how I am as an adult. But yeah, so I used to lick the salt off, and then it'd be like, yeah, great, I've had all that lovely salt off them peanuts. Anyway, so about 8 years ago, eight years ago, I'd go into a pub, and I'd see less and less peanuts being given out. And I think to myself, that's odd, why isn't there any peanuts? And slowly, after a year or two, maybe when I was about 16 at this point, I thought, I bet I know what it is. They want to cut back on costs. This time it must have been similar to around the recession. I don't know, maybe no, just after the recession or something. But I was thinking they must be cutting back on the things that they don't need in terms of cost. Because if you're putting out quite a lot of peanuts on all these tables every day, you're spending a few quid on peanuts every single day. So I'm thinking that's what they must have been doing. But I always hated it just because, obviously, they need to cut back on cost. They get rid of the bloody peanuts. And us kids who are bored sat there while their parents are drinking can't have the bloody peanuts, or at least lick the salt off the peanuts. So I always said to myself, if ever I get a pub, I'm going to keep the peanuts. Like, I'm going to sacrifice another cost. I'm going to keep the peanuts because they're great. They're brilliant. That's what they need. The free peanuts are brilliant. Anyway, so with regards to the robes, obviously it depends on cost. Now, one big mistake, and I can't speak for knowing about this. This is just me imagining what a big mistake would be. So just take this with a pinch of salt. Salt again because of the peanuts anyway. But yeah, so take this with a pinch of salt. I think there is maybe a couple of people in the chat who have had their own shops. But this is what I feel might be a big thing, a big impact in a business's success or failure in its early days. When people get their own bricks and mortar shop, what do they want to do? It's their shop. They've had this dream for years. They want their shop to be theirs. So what they do is they kit it out with, you know, maybe 400, 500, 600 quid's worth of decor and stuff like that to make it their shop. Or maybe even more than that. You know, maybe some savvy people don't kit it out, but maybe others, you know, first start up, will kit it out. You know, a few hundred quid later, all kitted out, brilliant. Well, that money is then essentially, it's wasted, right? Instead of getting a few little potted plants that are very, very cheap and a few other little pieces of decor that you can scrounge about for cheap at the auctions or whatever, you know, a couple of paintings on the wall for £5 plus commission or whatever, they get these big lavish things and they spend their money, and that obviously goes, you know, that's money spent out of their budget that really they shouldn't be spending it on that in the early days. Once you've got, you know, once you've got up and running and you've got success, then go all out. Blooming have more murals painted on the wall of your naked self, or go and have anything you want, you know, TV screens playing SpongeBob SquarePants 24/7. Obviously, you know that that's what I would do. I've just literally said that. Well, maybe not naked, because that would put off customers. But, you know, maybe me, like, in a rugged sort of, you know, one of those, like, fur thing. Not fur things, but, you know, like, oh, what do you call, like, fabric things, like, that we wore, like, 10,000 years ago on, like, some sort of saber-toothed cat or something like that, anyway. But when you've got success, do that. Kit it all out, because you've got the money to do that then. But if you're doing a business, first off, spend as little money as you can on all this extra decor stuff, because that's probably going to be one of the factors to you also, you know, eventually failing, because you've spent a lot of money on that. I'm not saying everyone does this, but that is my thinking, that a lot of people do that because they want to personalise it, they want to make it yours, and that is not a wrong thing, that is not a wrong thing. But if you're putting that level of emotion, you know, your own emotion into your business like that first off, and throwing all that money at it because you want to make it beautiful in your eyes, I don't think that's going to go down well first off. As I say, later on, do it, whatever, fine. If you've got the money to do it, do it. As long as you think that, you know, it's not going to impact customer kind of satisfaction and stuff, like a mural of me on a wall probably would. But, you know what I mean? So, getting back to the robe question, if I had the money and I felt like I could do it, and I could somehow, like, put the cost into a membership, then yeah, I would do it, and you could all have little robes with your initials on there or whatever, then that'd be cool. But if I can't, like, factor it into membership, then, you know, I can't condone doing it at that early stage of the business. So, anyway, that's just me being harsh, you know, being a killjoy, but anyway. Right, let's go down. Let's go down. Oh god, it ended. My mind is terrible. High street retail is tough. Overheads can be crippling high, but if you get it right, it can be like printing cash. We have seen both ends of success spectrum in traditional retail. Add whatever drugs you are on, send some my way. I am not on any drugs, by the way, just so people know that I'm not on drugs. I don't know why I'm so, no, I know why I'm so, like, if you see me, like, for example there, like, when I get to Gary's age, or maybe even older, probably older, because it'll take a while for this rambunctious youth to really wear off me, because it's, like, inbuilt to my personality. But I think when I get, like, 30, 40 years down the road, or whatever, 40 years, let's say, something like that, I think I'll be a different person. I think I'll be a lot calmer, a lot quieter. I think I'll be, you know, I might even be still doing Thursday talks. And, you know, I don't like to say it, but maybe some people won't be here for that. But, if you see me then, those of you that do see me then, you'll be like, oh, this Adam's quite nice. I can get on board with this Adam, because he's, like, so much more relaxed, because I've kind of grown into life. You know how people say, like, oh, you've just got to settle into life kind of thing because you've lived and you've had more experience. I think that's what the one thing about life that I'm really looking forward to in a long-term perspective is actually just growing into life and just settling down and feeling like, you know, just feeling more relaxed with it, because at the moment I feel quite young and energetic and uptight about things, and then obviously with age I'm going to mellow and I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this is nice kind of thing. So that is a big factor of what I'm going to enjoy, you know, over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years in terms of getting older. And that is one big positive about getting older, like the fact that you can just mellow, and also the fact that you can, like, just literally, like, you'll look at young people and you'll see them going around like headless chickens, and you can literally just point out one thing that they didn't even see because they're too busy running around here, there and everywhere, and then you can literally solve all their problems with one little word that comes out of your mouth, because you're just sat there nice and mellow, and you're actually focused on what's around you and looking what's around you at the time, rather than, like, all these young people here, there and everywhere, don't know what they're doing, running around, too uptight and everything. So I can't wait for that moment in my life where I'm a bit more, like, you know, I'm a bit more settled, I'm a bit more sort of, you know, fatherly or grandfatherly. That's gonna be a good time. I really do rate that. So if you're worried about getting older, just think about that, because I mean, sometimes I get worried about getting older, and I'm 22, so you know, if you're worried about getting older, just think about that, because that is a great thing to hold on to. The fact that, you know, you can just be, you know, just relax, just chill, because that's what life's all about in the end. You know, it's about working hard and then playing hard, but also relaxing as well. Once you've played hard, relax. You know, you work hard, you play hard in your youth, and then you relax when you're a bit older and chill out a bit. Anyway, anybody got any reselling questions? Because we've not had any reselling on this chat. Well, we've had a little bit, tiny little bit. Right then, well, I'll go up the chat. Well, below average. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, everyone said about the below average. Above average Friday to Sunday, below average midweek. Jack says, mine were below average, so I did a load of auctions to bring in money. That is a very good tactic. I've been trying to do a few auctions, but not done any ending this Sunday. Tap Pedally say, mine are slow. Yeah, but you've been away, haven't you? Yeah, he says, but I've been away on holiday, so I had long dispatch time. Yeah, it's slow. Oh, it's slow. It's horrible. It's slow. Why? And I'm listing, but it just won't come. But anyway, oh God, that is a really terrible innuendo there, but just ignore that. Anyone with a dirty mind, just ignore what I just said there. Anyway, you'd only pick up on that if you had a bit of a dirty mind. But yeah, so it's annoying, it's slow. Been listing, everyone else has been listing, and we're just here, you know, we're just I don't know what to say. We're just here. We're listing. We're doing what we can, and nothing's happening. We get the odd sale. I mean, I did like 80 quid the other day. Yesterday was pretty poor, about 60 quid. and I've had, you know, a few days in the week, you know, that's over 100 quid, but it's not where you want to be. That's on eBay exclusively, but as I say, Amazon's dwindling at the moment. I have actually just sent it up a box because it's been so long since I sent up a box, and I really need to just get something up there. So yeah, things are just dwindling a little bit, and it's just not great. It's just, yeah, anyway, what we've got to do, and I'll tell you this now, and in about, well, maybe not even 3 months, maybe even less than that, but in a few months, you'll thank me. Just keep going, keep listing as much as you can, keep building that inventory with good items. Make sure they're good items though, don't put on crap. Make sure they're good items, mainly higher value items if you can source them. And this time in a few months, you'll be thanking me if you just keep listing. So yeah, just keep listing, get your head down. I'd say I've been listing quite a lot. Between eBay and Amazon this week, I've done 100 listings or thereabouts. Maybe about 95, but it's like between 95 and 100. So, and I've got another 15 to do today. So I'm really happy. You know, I'm getting stuff on, and mainly, as I say, I'm trying to list higher value items now. There's been quite a lot of sort of 30, 40, 50 quidders, so I'm quite happy with that. But at the same time, you know, things aren't quite picking up, so I've got to keep going. I do want to go out to a few, like, you know, further away towns for charity shops and stuff again, because obviously going there, you know, getting a few FBA items from there, a few eBay items, that'll help a lot. So, you know, in times where you're struggling, maybe just going out for a day somewhere further afield, you know, just to casually go around the charity shops as well as having a bit of a day out. That's always a nice little idea. Pick up a bit of stock, bring it back, list it, obviously have a nice day out, and yeah, and that's always a good idea. So I'm thinking I'll do that a little bit more, you know, go out to a few further afield towns, because I've not done that. Car boot on Sunday. I've not been to a car boot, you may realise, because there's not been any car boot hauls on the channel. I've not been to a car boot in like 3 weeks. I've done an auction recently, as you are aware. I need to film that camera video actually. I've not done it because I've not done any YouTube for like the past 3 days, because I've just been doing listing and stuff, to be honest. Just been working and doing other stuff as well. So yeah, it's just not been doing any YouTube really. But I feel terrible, because I wanted to do that camera haul like 3 days ago and I didn't. But anyway, I'll get it done, and then I'll get another haul video done after that, because there's still a few bits and bobs. But the problem is, I'm listing it and then I'm putting it away, and I'm like, oh no, I need to do a haul for that. So it's like, it's so annoying kind of thing. I've got to commit myself before I list it to just getting a video done as quickly as I can, so that then I'm not getting into a problem of, oh well, that's listed, this isn't, and how am I going to show this kind of thing. But anyway. So yeah, people are saying well below average. My sales are well below average. Phoebe says average. Oh yeah, I've already answered that. Average. Oh, a load of people saying it up here. Below. Kim, average. Smart says below. Smart reselling. Average was slow last week, Tom said. Below, below. Mine have been above. So a few people above in there. There's a few people above. Yeah, anyway, so quite a few people saying below. A couple of people saying above. A few people saying average. Seems, you know, it doesn't seem that bad. Most people seem to be, you know, a few people say below, but yeah, it's not terrible. Ads, that's better than mine, just getting low offers. Yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, I've been getting a few low offers. Like, I listed a load of that Crown Derby. I nearly said Derby again. But that Crown Derby, and I really liked dealing with that. I really did. I liked listing that. I liked looking into it and stuff. Nice items to list. I'm going to be looking out for more of that, because I don't know, I just like dealing with it. For some reason, I really have a lot of passion for dealing with these ceramic plates, collector's plates, things like that. The vast majority don't have much value, but, you know, other ones do. Like, some of the, like, the Royal Dalton ones, you know, those ones that we did 10 a penny of, don't really have much value. But then there's other ones that do, and I think that it could be a niche I need to explore a bit more. Seems like some auctions you'll get them like dirt cheap, like there'll be no competition, and then if you're trying to go for the slightly higher end ones, you might run into a bit more competition. But certainly I like listing them, so I've had a few offers on them, but you know, they're on for like 15 quid anyway. So if I'm getting an offer for a tenner, I'm like, I don't really want to accept it. So I should have just left offers off them. So I'm thinking I might update some of my items and take best offer off. To be honest, off quite a chunk of my items, because it's just getting ridiculous. I'm just getting low offers, and it's like, well, why not just take best offer off, you know, a lot of stuff, and then just kind of get the sales for the full price when someone wants to actually pay the full price. Because I think to myself also, with best offer, I don't know whether you guys think this, but with best offer, if you were to, let's say, put an item up for £15 or best offer plus your postage, or if you were to put it up no best offer, do you think that if that one without best offer, you know, if you put it on without best offer, would that person just buy it anyway? I reckon on a lower value item like that, they're probably just going to pay the extra fiver, to be honest. Whereas if you put it on with a best offer, it then makes them think, oh, hang on a minute, you're probably going to accept less. And then they do an offer to make you accept less. So, I don't know, maybe it's just worth just, you know, putting a load of items on without best offer, and then people will pay it in the end anyway, because there's no function to have a best offer anyway. You might get the odd person messaging you saying, would you accept this? But you know, I don't think I think that actually it wouldn't necessarily impact sales really negatively. I was thinking it might do, but I don't think it would particularly. I think people would just end up paying the price. So it might be actually better to do that than have best offer on all these items. Oh, we got Kirsten in. Hi there, Kirsten. Hi, I heard on some channel someone trying to sell shirts or monetize their watches in some way. That there is a link. That there is a link in the Cassini algorithm. What? I don't even get that. I heard on some channel someone trying to sell shirts or monetize their watches in some way. That there is a link in the Cassini algorithm between slow sales and peanut licking. Oh, right, I get it. It's a joke. I was thinking, hang on a minute, what's all that? But I couldn't understand that comment then. Anyway, yeah, it's a joke. Peanut licking tendencies. Very good, very good. I recommend not putting best offer on anything less than 35 quid. That is a good shout, actually. I've always had a tendency to put best offer on, like, you know, loads and loads of items. But I think that moving forward, that is a good shout. I think 35 quid's about right. Because if you have like a £30 item, you've got it in an auction job lot, it might only cost you 3 or 4 quid in an auction job lot, and then someone gives you an offer of 25 quid plus your postage, you think, yeah, you know what, I'll accept that. But if you've got an item that's a tenner or 12 quid or 15 quid, and then we put an offer in at maybe only 3 or 4 quid less, or maybe even 2 or 3 quid less, I don't really want to accept it. You know, I just think, well, I'll just hold out for the 15 because it's kind of lower, you know, because it's like a lower value item. I don't want to take even lower than that lower value item is already up for. So, yeah. Kirsten, have you been busy with the photos and Facebook today? Got to get some people through the door. Yeah, definitely. I'd stay away from crockery and cutlery. That is my area of eBay. Oh, there's bloody room for 2 of us, for God. Anyway, I've been doing crockery for quite a while. Like, maybe not like high-end crockery, but certainly like just the lower value crockery. I've been doing that quite a while, but no, I don't know. There's something about crockery. It's nice. It's just, I don't know. Maybe, I think one thing that appeals to me with crockery, and I know it doesn't, the packaging, for a lot of people, that puts them off. For me, packaging it is fine, that's cool. But what really appeals to me is the fact you don't generally, you might have to clean the odd one, but you don't have to test them, and you generally don't have to clean them, unless, you know, obviously you can get a few that are a bit dirty, you need to give them a quick clean, but generally, they come from the auction. If you go to like a reputable auction house, they come really well, you know, like sort of, in good condition kind of thing, and if they're not as long as they're not broken, all that sort of stuff, and you can transport them back easily, you know, between bubble wrap and stuff like that, then it's just easy to deal with. And obviously you have to remember, well, this is what I do, you don't have to remember to do it, but I just do a little photo with a tape measure and just do a little sort of measurement photo, so that then I don't have to put it in the description, because if I put it in the description, I'll just end up forgetting to put it in the description, to be honest, or I just can't be bothered, so I'll just do it as a photo. And then what I still get, though, is I still get people saying, oh, where's the measurements of this item? It's like, they're in the photo, for God's sake. Anyway, but yeah, so maybe I should put it in the description as well, but I don't do that. Although saying that, the other day, I got a question from someone about measurements of an item, and I thought, oh, well, I would have put it in the, you know, I thought to myself, oh, it's just going to be in the photo. So I went to the listing, it wasn't in the photo, so sometimes you end up forgetting to do that. But the thing with crockery and stuff like that is you'll get, and generally just antiques and brass and things like that, you get so many questions about measurements and all that sort of stuff. So it's you do have to make sure you're measuring the items, because if you don't, it's just going to create loads of hassle with like tons of messages. And ever since I've started doing more, you know, more household bits and maybe a few more sort of vintage bits and antique bits, it's kind of been, the messages have increased. And I think that's because really there's only so many questions you can ask about a Twister board game, but there's a lot more questions you can ask about, you know, some sort of coal bucket or something like that, or some sort of weird brass item. You know, we can ask loads of different things. You know, what's the measurements? They might even ask like something like, what's the material inside of the item, or something. You know, there's loads of different, loads of different questions you can ask. What, you know, what parts of the item, maybe we can't see it very well in the photo for some reason, or, you know, like, what's this part of the item made out of, because it looks like it's made out of a different metal than the other part of the item. And, you know, there's all these different questions that can arise, basically, if you're selling more vintage items, more unique items, than if you're selling sort of just standard generalist items, that generally the only question, like on a board game, is it complete? You know, that's basically it. They're not really going to want the measurements, although you might get some random people saying that. They might ask something about, I don't know, the condition of the board, but it's very rare. It's generally just, is it complete, you know? So, but even then, you can avoid that question by just putting complete in the title. So, you know, yeah, even then. So, but even though you put complete in the title, I still get sometimes questions, or I used to do when I was selling more board games, of, is it complete? And you're like, it's in the title. Anyway. Oh, it's funny. Right, I think we'll leave it there because it's getting on now. I've got parcels in my basket on Hermes now. Now, now I can't access anything because it's down. Oh, that's so annoying. I always seem, well, it's weird because whenever you're trying to do something, like on Royal Mail or on Hermes, it always seems like it's down for you in that moment, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, I have to wait now. But it's a bit annoying anyway. Gonna leave it a while and get on with some listening. Yeah, you may as well, because it'll be back up in a bit anyway. There's no point like waiting around for it to work, because it might be, you know, it might be half an hour or something, so it might even be longer than that. So anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. My voice is going, so I need this drink. It always goes now after Thursday Talks. It's like, oh my God, I need a drink now, because I just talk. I'm at the camera just bombarding it with just chat. So that is why it's called Thursday Talks, though, because I just talk. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for everyone for joining me again. I will be back. I'll try and film that camera haul. Actually, I've got the stuff in the other room, so just a case of filming it. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I'm going to do a sales update hopefully tomorrow as well, because I know that it's been like 2 weeks since I've done one. I don't know why I didn't do one last week. I don't know. I usually do them every Thursday or Friday. If you go to my Hermes shop, if it only costs £2.95 and you print in shop online website, it's £5.95. Wow. I didn't know that. No, surely it'd be like £6.49 because it's gone up in price, hasn't it now? From £5.95 to £6.49. Because you talk now, stop for an hour. Because you talk non-stop for an hour. I thought you said stop talking for the next hour or something then. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Yeah, I know what I need to start doing actually, before I go very quickly, is I need to start taking breaks. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do that because it's a live show, but I'll have to like start taking little pauses a little bit more frequently. So I might have to just look at the chat more, because I don't focus on that enough anyway. So Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, Peter Way's just back. Sorry, Peter, I am off now. We just finished the hour. But yeah, I'll be back in another video very soon, and I will see you next time. So, see you very soon. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.